March 6, 1981. Lübeck, West Germany. In a courtroom packed with judges, lawyers, reporters, and strangers, a mother sits among the public. The man on trial is accused of kidnapping, sexually assaulting, and killing her 7-year-old daughter. The court is supposed to decide his fate. But before it can, the mother stands up. She reaches into her handbag. She pulls out a Beretta 70, a small .22 caliber semi-automatic pistol, and she opens fire. 7 shots crack through the room. 7 shots. Anna was 7 years old. Within seconds, the defendant collapses on the courtroom floor, hit from behind. His name is Klaus Grabowski. Her name is Marianne Bachmeier. And the question that will haunt Germany for years is simple. Was this justice or murder? What happened in that courtroom did not end a case. It created one. This is the true story of the Marianne Bachmeier case. Marianne Bachmeier was born on June 3, 1950, in Sarstedt, in what was then West Germany. Her early life was unstable. She left school young. She got into trouble. She spent time in a youth institution. By adulthood, survival had already shaped her personality. She became a mother at a young age. Some of her children were placed for adoption, but one child remained with her, a daughter named Anna. Anna Bachmeier was born on November 14, 1972. By 1980, Marianne and Anna were living in Lübeck, a northern German city near the Baltic Sea. Marianne worked and tried to hold their life together. People who knew her described her as strong-willed and difficult at times, but she was Anna's mother, a single mother raising her alone, and Anna was the center of her world. May 5, 1980 began like an ordinary weekday in Lübeck. Anna was 7 years old. She was supposed to be in school that morning. Instead, she stayed home. Accounts differ slightly, but the most widely reported version is that she argued with her mother and decided not to attend school. At some point that morning, she left the apartment and went out into the neighborhood alone. It was not unusual for children to move freely in the area. Neighbors knew one another. There was no visible threat in the streets. According to court records and media reports at the time, Anna had previously visited a local man who lived nearby. His name was Klaus Grabowski. He worked as a butcher. Anna knew him as someone who kept cats. She had been to his apartment before to see them. Grabowski was 35 years old. He was not unknown to authorities. He had previously been convicted of sexually abusing 2 young girls. In 1976, he voluntarily underwent chemical castration. Later reports revealed that he sought hormone treatment afterward, apparently attempting to counteract its effects. Despite his record, he was living in the community. On May 5th, Anna encountered him again. What followed was established during the investigation. Anna was taken into his apartment. She was sexually assaulted. She was strangled. Investigators later stated that she was killed using tights belonging to Grabowski's fiancée. Afterward, according to prosecutors, Grabowski placed Anna's body in a cardboard box. He left it near a canal. When Anna did not return home, concern grew quickly. Hours passed. The search began. Eventually, Grabowski's fiancée went to the police. She reported what she knew. Authorities arrested him. Anna Bachmeier's body was discovered. The date of her death was recorded as May 5, 1980. She was 7 years old. After his arrest, Klaus Grabowski gave investigators a version of events that intensified public outrage. He claimed that Anna had tried to extort him. He said she threatened to tell her mother about the assault unless he paid her money. He stated that panic and fear of returning to prison led him to kill her. The claim shifted blame onto a murdered child. It became one of the most disturbing elements of the case. Grabowski was formally charged. A trial was scheduled in Lübeck. Under West German law, the court would determine guilt and impose punishment. For the public, the facts appeared clear. For Marianne Bachmeier, the process was something else entirely. Because the legal system moves by procedure, grief does not. By early 1981, Klaus Grabowski was on trial before the Lübeck Regional Court. The courtroom was full. Media attention was intense. Reporters filled the benches. Cameras waited outside the building. Inside, judges, prosecutors, defense attorneys, and court staff prepared to examine the evidence. Marianne Bachmeier attended the proceedings. She was not part of the legal teams. She was the mother of the murdered child. In Germany, family members may observe the trial, but they do not control it. They do not question the accused. They do not determine the sentence. They listen. During the trial, details of Anna's death were discussed. So were Grabowski's explanations. He remained seated in court, alive, awaiting judgment. On March 6, 1981, the third day of the trial, Marianne entered the courtroom carrying a handgun. It was around 10 a.m. The courtroom is often identified as Room 157. Marianne Bachmeier was seated among the observers. The pistol in her bag was a Beretta 70, chambered in .22 caliber. At one point during the session, she stood up. She moved forward. She aimed at Klaus Grabowski's back, and she fired. Some reports state she pulled the trigger 8 times. Others report 7 shots. 6 bullets struck Grabowski. He collapsed and died shortly afterward. The courtroom descended into chaos. Marianne did not attempt to escape. She lowered the weapon. Police officers restrained her. She was arrested at the scene. A statement frequently attributed to her from that moment is, "I did it for you, Anna." Whether recorded verbatim or repeated later, the sentence became symbolic. Because now, the focus of the law shifted. The accused murderer was dead, and the grieving mother had become a defendant. The reaction was immediate and polarizing. News spread across West Germany and beyond. Television networks and newspapers covered the case extensively. Public opinion split sharply. To some, Marianne Bachmeier had carried out an execution in a courtroom. To others, she had delivered a form of justice the system could never truly provide. The German legal system is built on the principle that only the state has the authority to punish. Private revenge undermines that foundation. Yet many citizens expressed sympathy. They focused on Anna, on Grabowski's prior convictions, on the fact that a known offender had been free. The case became more than a crime story. It became a national debate about justice and revenge. Marianne Bachmeier was charged with homicide and illegal possession of a firearm. Her trial took place in 1982 and 1983. The central issue was not whether she fired the shots. That was undisputed. The question was how the law should classify her act. The prosecution initially pursued a murder charge. German murder law differentiates between murder and manslaughter based on specific motives and circumstances. Psychological evaluations were presented. The court examined whether her actions were premeditated or driven by extreme emotional distress. In March 1983, the court delivered its verdict. Marianne Bachmeier was convicted of manslaughter and unlawful possession of a firearm. She was sentenced to 6 years in prison. She served approximately 3 years before being released early. Again, public reaction was divided. Some believed she had been treated too leniently. Others believed imprisonment was unnecessary. The court's decision attempted to balance law with circumstance. After her release, Marianne's life remained marked by notoriety. She reportedly sold the rights to her story to a major magazine. Books and dramatizations followed. For years, her name remained linked to the case. She spent time living abroad, including in Nigeria and later in Sicily. Eventually, she returned to Germany, reportedly after health problems and a period of instability abroad, seeking treatment and a quieter life. Marianne Bachmeier died on September 17, 1996, from pancreatic cancer. She was 46 years old. She was buried in Lübeck at the Burgtorfriedhof Cemetery beside her daughter Anna. In the end, the mother who shattered a courtroom was laid to rest next to the child whose absence had shattered her life. Klaus Grabowski died before a verdict could be delivered in Anna's murder trial. The legal system never formally pronounced his sentence. The case ended in gunfire rather than judgment, and that is why the story endures. It presents two realities at the same time. A child was abducted, assaulted, and killed. A mother lost her daughter. And in a courtroom, that mother killed the man accused of committing the crime. The law demands order. Grief does not. The Marianne Bachmeier case remains one of the most debated examples of vigilante justice in modern European history. It forces a question that has no simple answer. What do you think? Was what Marianne did understandable, or was it a line that should never be crossed? And honestly, what would you have done in her place? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you found this case thought-provoking, consider leaving a like and subscribing to Silent Past. There are many more real stories here, cases, disappearances, and histories that are worth your attention.